Hello, and welcome to Pure Live. It is Friday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, and you're exactly where you're supposed to be. And you guys know we have awesome guests on the show today because that's how we do it. But before we get into our topic of the day, we're going to start with our sponsors. So here we go. Dreamers. Yes, y'all know every single week I tell you guys they are a great organization to be a part of. And my mama recently joined the team. What? Yeah, that's what's up. So if you need an organization to help you get organized, to help you focus, you need that support system. You need some courses to help you vision envision is what I meant to say. What you want to do is a good organization to be a part of. And we got up next Motives Cosmetics. All right, y'all. Um, I'm laughing, and I'll tell you why in a second. And next we have um Abella Eyewear. Got them shades, the blue blockers, and I'm just let you guys know the blue blockers are like very helpful. I don't know if you guys remember or not, but I told you guys that I have suffered. I'm praying into existence. Have suffered from headaches, severe headaches, and the blue blockers really help with not triggering those headaches. So they're actually a good idea to have. And also, if you want to keep them nice and safe, what do we have here? For the glasses case. Hey. My blue blockers. Now, without further ado, I'm going to introduce my guests for tonight, Doctors Aaron and Margaret Jamal. Yay!
Hey, hi.
Well,
Yay! What's up?
No.
Now I'm gonna tell y'all why I was laughing because these are also my producers, and
mhm.
my producers was like, "Clean your camera, your lights are in your glasses." They don't know how to just be guests. So It is a blessing, though. It's a blessing, y'all. Welcome, welcome, welcome back.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
You guys are so adorable. So, I'd like you guys to introduce yourselves. Which one would like to go first?
Me.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I am Margaret Jamal. I am Dr. Margaret Jamal, and the doctorate is in pastoral counseling and social services. Um, some people call me Maggie. Some people call me M. Some people call me Margaret with an M. Some people call me Gma. Some people call me MJ. But you can call me, I don't know, we have to talk about that. But no, seriously, it's late. So I might be a little silly a little bit today. But that's who I am.
Now y'all know where I got it from.
And I've
And now your
been married
turn.
for 40 years. And so I'm going to turn it over to my husband.
I am Dr. Aaron Jamal, her husband, and that's who I am. Okay.
I won't tell you what I call him.
Really? That's all you got with your resume? That's all you got for us?
Some
you want
people
me
call
to,
him Dr. Jam.
you want me to go through my resume?
Tina
Not your
calls
entire resume, but I'm saying you could do better than that with your introduction, sir.
Dr. Jam.
Say what then?
Tina call you Daddy Jam.
Okay. What did you say?
She calls
I
him Daddy.
said you don't have to go through your resume, but you can do better than that with your introduction, sir.
Elijah calls him Pops.
She just talking about who calls him what.
Elijah calls him Father. Aisha calls him Daddy. Gina calls him Daddy Waddy.
Oh my goodness.
Oh no.
Dr. Margaret, please let him introduce himself, please.
Okay, I told you that you the one that invited me on the show. After 8 o'clock at night, you know how you get what you get. All right, go
Well,
ahead.
I mean, the best thing that is that I got to tell you is that I'm her husband. Okay. Apart from that, apart from being blessed for that, I do also have a doctorate in pastoral counseling as well as the addiction focus that I had. My emphasis or my primary focus on my doctorate is in addiction. I try to do as much as I possibly can as far as the counseling is concerned to do my to connect with my peoples, especially in an area of marriage, because we really believe that the Lord has called us to not only walk as an example, but to be a support unto one another and to help folks to, do this thing it is that seems to be so challenging for folks.
And it's been challenging for us. We've been married for a minute.
A whole minute.
We're qualified to talk about it because we've gone through some things.
Qualified, huh?
Amen and amen.
Right.
I'm their daughter. Can you tell?
You're a wonderful daughter.
So tonight, so this is a part one, part two situation. And tonight I call it Why Get Married and Is It Worth It?
Mm.
I am also married. One of the things that I have in common with so many people is that this is not my first marriage, but it's definitely my last. Amen. Hallelujah. Uh, and I've heard so many different things, especially with the millennials, which I am one, regarding marriage. And a lot of people getting divorced lately. I mean, it's almost like a trend, I feel. So what I would like to do, because we're gonna get into a whole lot of conversation, and it's just we're gonna roll. I'm gonna play this video because someone that is famous um, decided that they were going to get a divorce after 14 years of marriage. And it's just interesting the observations that people are having about this situation. So let's talk about it.
Okay.
It's like, it's like if it's I can't even visualize myself, without Corey.
P.U.R.E's divorce announcement left the internet in shock, and we were left wondering what went wrong with her and P.U.R.E. Well, it looks like the speculations are over because we now know exactly what it was that broke Tia and left her with no choice but to divorce. So did P.U.R.E really cheat on Tia? P.U.R.E announced that she was getting divorced from her husband, P.U.R.E Hardrick, after they have been together for 23 years and married for 14. She announced the divorce on Instagram, saying, "I have always been honest with my fans, and to date is no different. I wanted to share that P.U.R.E and I have decided to go our separate ways. These decisions are never easy and not without sadness. We will maintain a friendship as we co-parent our beautiful children. I am grateful for all the happy times we had together and want to thank my friends, family, and fans for your love and support as we start this new chapter moving forward in our lives." This announcement took everybody by surprise because Tia and P.U.R.E always appeared to be solid, and we all expected them to live happily ever after. In August, Tia tweeted about how much she loved being married, saying, "I love love. I love marriage, and I love committing to one person. It feeds my soul." So it was kind of confusing how she went from loving marriage to filing for divorce in only a couple of months. While it may seem like her decision to file for divorce was sudden, her Twitter page suggests that it was not so sudden because she started tweeting about rejection and putting herself first. These tweets started not long after she tweeted about loving marriage, and she said things like, "Have you ever been rejected or completely ignored? Even when your heart is pure, Dan, it doesn't feel good, but trust, rejection is God's protection. It's never too late to put yourself first," and currently making space for what's meant. And in the days leading up to the announcement, her posts on Instagram and Twitter got more cryptic because she was saying things like, "Reminder, you are enough. You deserve love, and you deserve to be understood for who you truly are. Letting go can be painful, but it won't hurt as much as holding on to an illusion. And you're going to be celebrating something major soon. Your heart and mind will be at peace. You'll see it all miraculously work out. Be grateful for right now." So this convinced everybody that the marriage was not what it seemed to be, and there was so much going on behind the scenes that we just didn't know. Even worse, P.U.R.E threw some shade at the situation on his Instagram stories when he said, "Acting off of emotions will cost you every time." He made this post a few minutes after Tia announced the divorce, so it was obvious that he was talking about the situation. The divorce left people in shock, and there were all sorts of comments on social media, like these ones saying, "I cannot believe P.U.R.E is getting a divorce. They were all lovey-dovey in June. How did they get to irreconcilable differences in October? Devil is working hard." Someone else said, "I'm not surprised when any couple, celebrity or not, divorces." However, P.U.R.E filing for divorce from her husband, P.U.R.E, is surprising given the picture-perfect images they have presented on Instagram. All that glitters for all the world to see is not gold. Keep it quiet. Tia was quiet about the divorce, and even her twin sister, Tamara, refused to go into details when she was asked about the divorce.
But I know right now she just kind of just wants to, just kind of just process it all, take it all in, and, be a little private about that.
Yeah.
And, as a sister,
Yeah.
I'm just going to respect that.
Totally. Of course. Of course.
But Tamara's statement only made people more curious as to what exactly went wrong between Tia and P.U.R.E, and there were speculations online, with some people believing that P.U.R.E cheated and lots of other conspiracy theories. But P.U.R.E first tried to deny cheating allegations, but then changed his mind and decided to keep quiet. After one fan commented on a recent photo of P.U.R.E, Tia, and the kids on P.U.R.E.'s Instagram writing, "He cheated on her," and another person said, "Yep, that's what it sounds like." P.U.R.E simply responded, "Lies," but he later deleted the comment and has not said anything about Tia filing for divorce. Even his reps refused to make any comment on the matter. Well, according to a source close to Tia, the real reason she left her husband is that she simply could not stand him anymore. The source claimed that they had been together for 23 years, and Tia had built her entire life around him to the point that she lost sight of who she really was. This makes sense because in an interview that Tia and P.U.R.E did in 2021, Tia admitted that she could not visualize her life without P.U.R.E.
It's like, it's like if it's, I can't even visualize myself, without P.U.R.E.
The source went further to say that Tia had been undergoing a lot of personal changes and developments in the past couple of months, and that she felt like P.U.R.E no longer understood her. This made her realize that the marriage was no longer serving her needs, so she decided that divorce was the best option for the family because she was afraid that the relationship would get unhealthy if she forced herself to stay. So from this, we can conclude that the decision was not an impulsive decision on Tia's part, and people have been sending her good wishes online in hopes that she finds herself and finally starts living the life that she wants to. If you enjoyed this video,
All right. So, first, before we dig in, I want to explain myself. I did not address this when it first broke because I had my own emotions surrounding this situation, and I did not want to be reactive. I wanted to be responsive. That's one. And two, I wanted to make sure that I brought on some wisdom with me to discuss it that understood the ups and downs of marriages and things of that nature. So, first of all, before we address what she said about why she decided to get a divorce, can you please tell us, in your opinion, what is marriage?
Okay. Well, let me do this. I mean, of course, there are definitions out there, and there's scripture as well to base a description on. The To me, there is no one size fits all um, for marriage, primarily because it has been adapted in so many cultures, if you will. There's just so much to unpack with regard to what people consider when they're saying I'm married. It's just not the same for everyone. Okay. Having said that, for us, for the marriage it is that I am blessed with, the um, I think the combination and even the influences of one another along this journey is one that is happening even when it's not intentional. When it's more intentional, you seem to be less surprised that it's happening, but you have this impact on one another through your journey um, of coming together. I think the mistakes that some make, and of course we make mistakes as well, um, depending on what those mistakes are, can be very, very costly in your journey down the road. Like, for instance, you're a daughter, your mom is an incredibly gifted um, communicator and asks a ton of questions. Um,
Oh, yes.
that is something that I probably under appreciated initially, but I realize now that she began to help me. It's just who she is. It's not. I'm not taking any credit at all that our marriage did that to her. She really is just one of those people that tends to initiate conversation through questions. And for our relationship, the fact that she asked so many questions caused me to have to reconcile, address, consider things that I might not have had to consider if she hadn't asked a question. I don't like to evade. I want to address those things, not necessarily in a confronting way, but have an answer for it, if you will. Sometimes I didn't have the answer. It took us a little time to be together before I got comfortable enough to say, baby, I don't know. Because that's where I ended up being sometimes. But initially, that journey, asking questions, talking with one another. We spend a great deal of time talking with one another. We all have seasons where we talk more than others, other seasons, I should say. But this thing that we have together, it's way beyond the physical attraction. Of course, I do have an incredibly beautiful wife, but it's way beyond the physical attraction. It's a spiritual connection. It began with me looking and appreciating her as a gift, not one to take lightly, but a gift from God. And so that's rooted me, if you will, in my appreciation for her and in my ability to rebound when it is that I feel like she's not necessarily being nice to me. When I continue to see her as my gift, I can get over that. Okay, and we get past it. Now let me stop.
Okay. I want to go back to your question about what is marriage.
Okay.
And to me, marriage is two people coming together
Mm-hmm.
with the intent of living their lives together
Mm-hmm.
as one to build upon those relationships for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
I think that marriage is a relationship that's sacrificial. And notice, like, one of the comments was losing yourself. I think part of what you do in marriage, because
Absolutely.
marriage is not about self, it's about union.
Mm-hmm.
And so you change. Whoever you were when you got married, when you said, I want to live with this person, you're not going to be that same person, because now it's who you are in relationship with someone else.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a relationship that you learn how to be selfless.
Mm-hmm.
You learn how to be more giving. It is actually a character building relationship.
Mm-hmm.
where you come together. So, the bottom line is, I believe, is two people coming together to say that they're going to live together, they're going to be partners, and they're going to be there for each other for the rest of their lives. When we do that, marriage is about making promises.
Mm-hmm.
It's about making commitments.
Mm-hmm.
It's about going through tough times together. It's about saying that no matter what happens, we're going to do this thing together.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's real important that we understand that it's no more me. Everything is we when you get married. So I would say one of the things that happens when you get married is you remember your vow.
Mm-hmm.
I think that even and I'm not sure what their vows were, and not judging as far as the Tia or
Yeah.
what was your promise? What promise did you make?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And when you make a promise, you don't make it knowing what's going to happen in the future. To me, you make that promise saying that I'm going to try to stick to this promise, not knowing what it takes in order to do that. And to me, in a marriage, it shouldn't be easy for you to walk away because you don't know yourself anymore, or you don't know this, or you don't know that person anymore. It's something that I think that a lot of people don't respect and don't give it the respect that they should. When we got married, and this is our second marriage too. And I think that I was very immature and underappreciative of what marriage was. I wish I had known. Well, if I had known more, then I probably would have still been married. But what I'm saying is now I know. But the reason I know and respect marriage now is because of God in my life.
Okay.
And so I'm saying when I made that promise to God, I'm not going to break a promise to God. When I made that promise to my husband and to God and to, the people, all those people came to our wedding. They spent money to see us do this thing, and they saw us promise. And for me to just disregard it because I don't feel like it anymore is disrespecting both my relationship with God and my relationship with him. Now, if on the other hand, though, if the marriage is abusive, one, I would try to get help for it, right? So I, wouldn't have to hurt him or whatever, or somebody, get all the kids to jump on him and beat him up or whatever. I wouldn't stay in an abusive marriage,
Mm-hmm.
but I wouldn't leave a marriage because I don't feel good.
Well, let's talk about
Does
our
it
marriage.
does it make sense?
It does.
It does. It does make sense. Let's rewind a little bit and touch on that losing yourself thing. So, and what you said, Dr. Margaret, you're saying, and this is what I'm hearing, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is that you're supposed to, because you're no longer just you. You are a unit. You are one together.
Mm-hmm.
You're we.
With that being said, when you don't know, when you don't feel like you know who you are anymore, what is the move that you should be making? If you feel like you've wrapped yourself around this other person so much that you don't know who you are anymore.
Okay, so if I could speak to that first,
Yes.
the
And I'll
challenge
follow.
I believe is that people aren't asking enough questions of themselves before they actually get into the marriage, because the more confident you are in who you are, then the more appreciative you can be of who you become as you see yourself in this union becoming more. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We are better together. We do things in a different way than we did before, but we're better. Excuse me.
Bless the
Bless
baby.
you.
Yeah, because it is that we do things differently, and that's something that folks talk about. I don't want to compromise. I don't want to lose myself. I want to just do things my way. Well, those people probably shouldn't get married, because that's what marriage is. You do wind up giving of yourself. You do wind up recognizing that this person that you're now united with, they came with influences from their family, influences from the way it is that they learn things in their education, um, influences from friends. All of those things, they come into the marriage as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's no war there. There's a way of actually talking about things in such a way that you're not surprised before you get married.
Yeah.
And then while you're married, because this is the truth, marriage is the most intimate, interdependent relationship that exists, period. There's nothing more intimate than marriage. You might think you hiding something, but you ain't hiding anything. I mean, you may be hiding something, but you ain't hiding everything you think you're hiding, because your partner is able to see things you don't know they can see. Okay.
Mhm.
And so that nakedness, if you will, that you end up sharing with one another, it shouldn't leave you ashamed. It shouldn't leave you thinking, oh man, I wish I had something else. No, you should actually be able to celebrate it together. And if it is that you're showing one another that they are enough for you, and you're confident that you are enough for you, then there's no reason why you should be missing who you were without them.
Also, if I may address the question that you were saying, I agree with you.
Okay.
Um,
I didn't address the question.
no, you did in your way.
Okay. Okay.
You see what I'm saying? And what I am saying is just addressing that particular one. What do you do? Like he said, prevention. Now I'm talking intervention. So now I'm in it and I'm losing myself. And I can relate to that because, at some point in our marriage, I was like, who am I? I didn't know who Margaret was, right? But then I recognized something later on. Now, here's the question: why is that important?
Hmm.
But when you say I'm losing myself, what do you mean by that? Okay, so I can't answer that for anyone else. They have to answer it for themselves. So,
Right.
what do you mean by that? So, when I felt that way, that I was losing myself, what I really realized later is there was no self to lose because I didn't know who I was.
Hmm.
You see, I just, I'm at first I was like this, now I'm like this, and I don't know this Margaret, right? I'm becoming a we, and I've been independent, and now I'm compromising. I'm liking stuff. I'm giving in instead of walking out. You know, I'm not this independent person, and this is what I think is so important. Is I had to change the type of people that I was around because the people that after I got married, there were people who wanted that Margaret,
Mm-hmm.
and that Margaret didn't exist anymore,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I'm now in this tug of war trying to be their Margaret and trying to be his Margaret and wondering where my Margaret is. And
Mm.
now I have children, right? And now I'm trying to be their Margaret, right? All of that stuff. It's exhausting, right?
Amen. It is.
But the more I got into God, right? Then I just was like, hey, just be. I don't have to live up to his standards or my standards. It's enough for me to try to live up to God's standards, right? And so I don't worry
Right.
so much about trying to please anybody, including me. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. It makes a lot of sense to me.
So my thing is, if you feel like you're losing yourself, first of all, explain what does that mean? Because sometimes we say something and we don't really mean what it is that we're saying. It's
Right.
something else going on. And I believe that often people believe they have to get out of the relationship because they believe that the relationship is responsible for it. So they're placing blame on something. They said that's the cause because they don't see any other thing to blame.
Right.
But what if that's not it?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So I would ask more questions, like he says, to try to get to really, really what is the problem? and
What is the root?
even if you saw yourself so wrapped up in this person, does that mean that you can't learn how not to be? While that person is still there, you can learn how not to be wrapped up in that person. You don't, there's no set thing where you have to be that way. Is
Right.
what I'm saying. I think a lot of people that get divorced act like they don't have any other options.
And
You have
there
options.
are options.
You have options.
I also believe that couples help each other through their reflecting one another. Because here's what happens: you get an honesty from, and it should be in love, but you get an honesty from your spouse that you wouldn't get from anyone else, because their perspective is different. It's so close, and you're so exposed, if you will, that their perspective is different than anyone else. So often we're looking at other couples and we think, oh, that's really good. We're looking at their highlight reel. Okay. But when you get all by yourself, you're seeing everything. Okay. You get the behind the scenes, you get the ugly, you get the bad breath, you get whatever. Okay. So the ability for us to help one another, and that's really what it's about. It's about helping one another, not judging one another, not being hurtful to one another, but actually looking out for one another's best. This is my glory. So I'm going to do my very best to see her looking good. So if there's something that I think is out of line and it's because of something I'm doing, I'm going to try to make that correction on my end. If it's something that I can't do anything myself without her and being involved with it, then I'm going to do all that I can to initiate conversation so that we can find a strategy and a way to address this thing together. Because it's important.
But I want you to understand something though. Like, people are, will probably look at this and say, yeah. You talking all this stuff. You giving us your highlight reels. We haven't always felt this way. We had to grow into it. But the most important thing is that when we got married this time and we said, this is unto God, it was like, okay, we had this conversation. Divorce is not an option. So you have to first set those parameters. We made the promise, divorce is not an option. That means it doesn't matter how upset I am with you, I'm not walking out. Now I might go stay at a hotel for a few days, which I have done. But it's to get clear, but we are not getting divorced. So if we're not getting divorced, then, and I don't want to be happy in my marriage, he doesn't want to be happy in our marriage, then we need to be big girls and big boys and figure out a way to work this thing out. You see what I'm saying?
I do. I want to take a pause here. And we're going to take our little break and then we're going to play Find the Fake. And then we're going to dig deeper into this topic. As you all can tell, this is deep. This is why we already knew it was going to be a part 1 and a part 2. Right. So before we go into our little break, for those of you that are watching via YouTube, this is what I want you to do. Subscribe. Thank you. And if you are watching via Facebook, LinkedIn, or whatever else you're watching it through, follow me. We talk about good stuff, real stuff. I got good guests, as you can tell. No, I don't just have my family on here, but aren't they awesome? I mean, really. Anyway, so we're going to take this quick little break and then we're going to play Find the Fake. Here we go. Jamal Rogers, and I'm a singer, songwriter, choreographer, voice actor, and I'm the creator and talk show host of P.U.R.E Live. P.U.R.E is an acronym for Perfectly Undefined Raw Elegance. So naturally, we want our content to be pure, raw, and elegant. It airs live every Friday at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time on YouTube and Facebook. And if you'd like to see all of the episodes, you can reach it at asiajamal.com, ASIAJAMAL.com. Or if you'd like to be on the show, you can reach me at asia@asiajamal.com. Hope to see you soon. But every time they do a little snap at the end, I always have to.
Yeah. It's your dad.
And yes, y'all, this is my producers at work as well. I mean, am I blessed or what?
You are blessed.
You are blessed.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the game we're about to play is also my producers. Man, y'all don't even know. Y'all
Right, Elijah did the music. Yeah.
don't even know.
God is good.
God is good. Elijah Jamal, my baby brother that's been on here. Yes, he part of this too. Man, okay, but anyway, let's get into this game. Find the fake.
And these are about what we've done because I'm just setting it up, okay?
Go ahead, set it
We've
up.
been together, and in practically all of our jobs that we've had, we've worked together. We work together now.
Mm-hmm.
We work together with our side job, at the same company. We've always worked together. So these find the fakes are things that we've done together, both of us at the same time. One of them is not true. The other three are.
Which one is not true? That is what you are supposed to find out or figure out or guess at, and you may win a prize if you get it correct. So here we go. Let's find the fake.
Bam.
Okay.
I don't know my parents as well as I thought I did. Because it's like there's two of them on there. I'm like, I didn't hear about either one, so I don't know. Okay. Well, y'all take your wildest guess because I don't know. Okay, so getting back into the conversation.
Mhm.
So I have also been in the position of feeling like I lost myself in my marriage.
Mm.
It was in my previous marriage. And I feel like I didn't really completely understand what marriage was about at that time. Anyway, now I have a better understanding. And just so y'all know, it's not because my parents did not do a good job at showing me. I feel like they did a great job. It's one thing to watch, it's another thing to be in it.
You better say that.
I'm trying to tell you. Lord. So I do not feel lost now. However, what I learned in this relationship that you guys helped teach me, and my husband has helped teach me, is that the people that you surround yourself make the world of difference in the success of your marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the ideas that were in my head came from other people.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, he doesn't let you do this. How come you can't do this? this doesn't mean you're a bad person. Girl, you grown. You can do what you want to do. So he's your daddy now. You know, like,
Hey, did they do it all like that? Did they do it?
so he's your daddy now. He tells you what to do. That's what you're gonna accept now. I don't think I even want that if that's what marriage is, you know. You know, got you second guessing yourself. You know, like, oh, am I giving them too much control? What? Why am I giving in? Why did I say no to that? Normally, I would go out and do this. Why is this irresponsible? Is it irresponsible? I don't know. So,
May I ask you,
yeah.
say one thing about what you're saying, please? The reason that they're saying what they're saying is because you gave them too much information.
Boom. And that's what I was about to get into.
Mm-hmm.
Right there. So, one of the things that I wanted to point out now, in the beginning of this episode, we played a video about Tia's marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we even know about it? Why do we know about their problems?
Because they put it out there.
Exactly. Why did she announce that they were getting a divorce and why is it any of our business?
Mm-hmm.
I used to when I first started out dealing with Facebook and building up my fan base and all that, I gave a lot of information out, I feel, about my life. I cut that out. I stopped doing it because people would start to chime in and try to say, well, if I was with you, you know, you'd be doing this. Or, girl, why are you always doing this and this and this with him? You should be doing this. You in your prime and you in your this and whatever. Giving them all this information without them knowing actually what our relationship is about and what we vow to each other. And so, you know, sitting there second guessing yourself, well, am I making the right decisions? Am I doing this? Am I doing this? And then it's causing tension and friction in our relationship. I'm like, wait, hold up. Are you going to be there to pick up the pieces when we fall apart because I was following your advice? Like, what was gonna happen, you know, when I'm in tears and stuff? You gonna be there to console me? No. No, because misery loves company.
Mm-hmm.
Period. And not saying that you have to be married either to be happy. I'm not suggesting that at all. I'm saying stay out of married folks' business is all I'm saying. But yes, I would like you to go ahead and respond to what I was saying.
Marriage is okay. I'm not. I got to echo.
That's what I saw something happen weird. It said,
I heard that too, but I don't hear it anymore.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, marriage is not a spectator sport. You got to get in the arena. That's how you find out what's going on. That's how you experience the things that help to grow your marriage. And not all those things are going to be easy.
mm-hmm.
That's something else that people, I think, have a um, bad information, misinformation with regard to marriage. Marriage is not supposed to be easy.
Unrealistic expectations.
Okay, unrealistic. I believe that there are times, there are ebbs and flows. You said ups and downs, but I believe there are ebbs and flows. And when there are times when it is that things are becoming difficult, that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Right.
The Bible says that we're supposed to count on all joy. I believe that those stages, those seasons where we're developing things that we actually need for a thing that's coming that we don't even know about, that's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that's tried to work on themselves for losing weight or building muscle or whatever, you don't do easy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You do hard stuff. If you're serious about it, and marriage requires a serious commitment to work through those things with the expectation that this is going to pay off.
Mm-hmm.
But you're going to go through it. I believe that the information that is shared too often one, you're talking about something that hasn't evolved yet. It's not even time to start talking about it.
Right.
You're still in the stages where you're actually just going through it. You don't even know what's happening, really. And so this is not the time to be talking to others about the situation where you don't have enough information.
Unless they are friends of your marriage.
Yes. And
You,
but that's a different thing as well though, because the friends of your marriage are in the arena with you.
indeed.
They're not spectators that are just trying to see uh, from the outside the stuff that is going. They're talking to you. They're asking questions. They're part of your celebration. They're part of what it is that you're going through. They're getting through and reminding you of what it is that you said to one another and did for one another. Those are friends of your marriage.
And what kind of person do you want to be? The thing is we made a promise. And I think that today people it's too easy for people to make promises. I mean to
break promises.
It's too easy to break the promises.
Mhm.
It's too easy for them to, they don't have good work ethic. They're like, I don't like this job, I'll quit. We got the quit mentality, right? I don't like it, it's too hard. I have to wake up and put on my clothes and come to work. That, forget that, right?
Say
And
next.
so, right. And then and now I have to live for somebody else. I got to look at you for the next 40 years, and where there's all other kind of people I could be looking at, you know. And so it's really not about building relationships. And I really think that in my opinion, that technology is making it even harder. So now you can get on social, the social network, and you can have relationships with people where you can turn them on and off when you want to. Hi, I'm your friend. I'm going to just blurt out a whole bunch of stuff, tell you how I feel. You're going to tell me what's good and that you like me. I got you liking me online. I don't have to be face to face. I don't have to actually work at having a relationship. I can come on. I don't want to like you anymore. I can go to sleep, close the computer, turn off the phone. I don't have to deal with you at all. And we're learning how not to be relational. We're learning how to be transactional in
Mm.
how we deal with people, right? And at any moment, there is no, I don't have a commitment. I don't have any commitments with you. So I do believe that it's doing a disservice for us to get so wrapped up into how social media is changing the way we relate to one another.
Yeah.
Right? Let me tell you what I just did recently. And some people, may have noticed. I was on Facebook, I give people birthday greetings and stuff like that. And I was on Facebook.
Right.
So I have been doing this experiment, so to speak, where I've been fasting from social media, period. And if I didn't have your phone number, then you didn't get a greeting from me. If I have your phone number, then I sent you something. What it made me realize is how many people I was interacting with on Facebook that I really didn't have relationships with,
Mm-hmm.
for one. The other thing is I wasn't subjected to so much influence, because often I would get on Facebook and people, I would, it's like this little rabbit hole thing
Mm-hmm.
where I'm it's like, oh, here's a friend I haven't seen in a long time. Then I go on their page and I'm looking and I'm like, oh, that's definitely too much information. I didn't even know that about you. I didn't want to know that about you. Right? Oh boy, let me go get that out of my head. Right? And that, I mean, male and female. And then, and here's a conversation. Oh, did they say that? I don't agree with that. Then I would type some stuff that I'm like, I don't want to, let me delete this because I really didn't mean that. I'm just upset right now. It was too much going back and forth. It was too much drain in my head that I didn't realize it until after I was away from it for a while. Right? Now, I'm not eager to get back into it like that. Right? But let me tell you something else I realized. I was happier. I became happier. We've been more satisfied, less edgy with my husband, right?
Mhm.
I, I didn't have to see a therapist as much. I mean, I went to therapy, but let me just tell you something. And part of my healing process was coming away from the social media. I'm saying that to say this. Now, this is a theory,
Okay.
but I think that possibly in people's situations, maybe in Tia, I don't know, that that the influence of those of the fans and their opinions and all those people is part of what causes people to lose themselves now,
Yeah.
because you don't know who you are, and you're and when you have people, like you say, following you, you continue to do things to keep them following you because they keep feeding. It's like the more you get, the more you want. The more you
Flesh is
get,
never
the more you
satisfied.
want. The flesh is never satisfied. And they become this thing where they're feeding the beast, right?
Right.
And you're trying to do whatever you can to keep them coming to you, right? So if they're the ones that's satisfying you, then where's your spouse?
Right.
Where's
Right.
your spouse in your relationship?
Mhm.
Absolutely.
I know you're going to be wrapping this up. Can I say one more thing about the social media thing that for myself, one of the reasons why I pulled back is because there is a time and a place to say about things. And then there are other times when it is you say, that's a discussion for another time. What happens too often is that on the social media, somebody comments, you comment back, even yourself, you're saying something too quickly without having really given it consideration. So you're reacting to what they said rather than responding to things with the knowledge and wisdom that you really should. So in a relationship, even with us as close as we are and as much as we actually talk, sometimes that discussion has to happen at another time because I'm not in a frame of mind. I'm not where I need to be to respond to what it is that I'm being confronted with at that particular time. That doesn't mean I'm tired of her. I don't want to deal with her. That means I'm not ready to actually provide the response that would be appropriate. And so we need to table that for another time.
And we work that out.
Absolutely.
But social media doesn't teach you to work it out.
No,
It
the
teaches you to do
sugar.
it your way, and that's it. The Burger King marriage, right?
Mature way.
You know what I'm saying? Hold them pickles and lettuce.
I don't think I've heard that one before. Burger King marriage. All right.
Yeah.
Um, so yes, I completely agree with you guys. Also, to add on to what you're saying, once it's out there, it's out there. It
Yes.
involved everybody. Then you guys have moved past it. You've done your thing. You've made up, and everybody's like, "Girl, you gonna let him play you like that?" Dude, you gonna let him you gonna let her treat you like that? You just gonna let that slide, dude? Like,
The
man,
instigators.
right. Man, if I was you, I would this. Girl, if I was you, I would this. You don't know what you would do.
Mm-hmm.
You are not a part of the situation.
And the funny thing about it, even the people that are giving their opinions are hiding behind fake names, fake pictures, and you don't even have a relationship with your fans. That could be somebody's grandma talking about that they like, you know. Jay, no, I'm just saying it's not. So what marriage does is it helps to develop your character.
Yes.
You commit to that. I know I'm a better person. I know I'm a nicer person. I know I'm a more intelligent person because I'm a more giving person. Um, Definitely a more godly person as I continue to commit to God and to the marriage, right? And to my children, you know. And you had another question. Is marriage for everybody? And I think you had said
Yes.
something about marriage may not be for everybody,
N-
but for those people who want to be married, you want to go in with a different mindset than what the world is telling you to do.
there is definitely people that want to hold on to their own individualism. They want to do things their way. They don't want to compromise. This is not the season for you to get married.
That's why I don't believe in prenups. But that's another topic.
That sure is. That's a whole nother topic. We ain't got.
I'm just saying.
Mhm.
I mean,
Let-
what?
That's a series by itself.
Can I tell you? I don't consider this a secret because I share it with any of the other people that is that I know. The lens that I look at my wife now is one that I wouldn't trade in for anything at all. I see my wife as a child of God. She is the blessing from God to me. I didn't earn her. I don't deserve her. He gave her to me.
That truth
That is
speaks truth.
something that I think is so powerful when it is that you're looking at this person that is in the arena with you in a way that is totally different. Now, when I'm talking about the arena, I'm not inviting everybody on Facebook into the arena with us. That ain't happening. Okay. I'm talking about in the arena where we're trying to figure this out on our own.
Yeah.
We're trying to find out how to do this thing. We're experiencing things. We're discovering stuff we didn't know about before, but we're doing it with each other in a safe zone.
Yeah.
That's why this thing is so incredibly powerful, because I can look at this wonderful gift and blessing that God has given me and trust her with, Daddy, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this. Will you pray with me? And it's real. It's not fake.
Right.
We ain't going through it. We're trying to do this thing together. And truly, it is a vulnerable thing. It's awkward at times. I can tell you right now, I was never as comfortable being awkward or going through awkwardness before it is that I met somebody who I know loves me. I am confident that my wife loves me.
I love him. But it's God that taught me to love him. It wasn't always that way. And that's what's so important. When we speak with other couples and help coach other couples, we recognize and we invite couples, it's like when you think that you need to leave, or when you think that this person is about getting on your last nerve, and there's something better out there waiting for you, more than not, it's the enemy putting a lot of chatter in your head, and you haven't thought this thing through, right? Do you really want to start this whole thing with somebody else that hasn't invested anything, that doesn't know you? What is your guarantee that that person is going to be any different? Because you're giving them the highlight reels. You're giving them the I just put my makeup on. You're giving them the I just put my deodorant on. I just took a shower, right? You stop giving it to the one that you're married to, right? And now you're blaming them because they're not doing everything that you wanted them to do. What we try to do is help couples to actually think this thing through. You start off, do you love them, right? And to me, I don't think you can love anyone if you don't have God. That's my personal opinion. And that's what I hold on to. Do you love them? If you love God and you love that person, we can work this. You can work your marriage. You just have to get away from the toxicity, wherever that is. If you're an enemy of your own marriage, you have to stop being an enemy and become a friend of your marriage.
Amen. Amen. So we're gonna stop it there, because we're gonna get into some more deep stuff in part two. Another thing, and a part that we kind of like touched on a little tiny bit, but did not discuss, is this thing where people talk about what you bring to the table.
And roles.
And roles. So we're going to deal with that in part two. I want to thank my guests, parents, and producers, and all kinds of everything.
Tell people, if you're having issues with your marriage and you have questions, bring them on. Bring them on.
Bring them on where? You're supposed to tell them where to bring it.
Bring them to the part two.
Okay. All right.
Or go to asiajamal.com and you have a question, a place where they can ask questions.
Yes, that is correct. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. So you come on through, leave your comments, your questions. We're gonna have some answers for you.
Oh, we'll answer our find the fake on the next one, because we don't answer.
Yes, we will do it on the next one. Perfect. Okay. Till next time. We'll be right here Friday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Love y'all. Have a good night.
You.
Love you. Good night.
Good night.
Weeping